What do you got up for us next? What's next?
Okay, next on the list is cashless society. How cash is disappearing, and this is a separate topic from de-dollarization. De-dollarization refers to the fact that countries around the world are starting to use other forms of currency to settle international transactions besides the dollar, and that will lead to inflation. But now, on a more practical level, and this is all tied together with the CBDCs we talked about yesterday. So there is a theme here that every little subcategory here does warrant its own topic. So let's talk about what's going on with these guys. All right, and if you don't mind, after this segment, after this video, could you please, in the comment section below, please share your experiences with cash? Are you having a hard time getting money out of your bank, actual cash? Are you finding that your local merchants are not accepting cash anymore? We would like to hear your stories. All right, so let me show you a couple clips.
Taken another step towards a cashless society. A big bank has confirmed customers in some locations can no longer withdraw money over the counter as branches continue to wind back services.
The latest figures on ATMs shows the number of machines has more than halved from almost 14,000 back in 2017 to around 6,000 in the middle of last year.
Has accelerated Australia closer to a cashless society. In fact, so many of us stopped using cash in the first half of 2020 that authorities stopped issuing $5 and $10 notes.
Digital wallets and smartwatches. A lot of people are predicting that Australia will become a cashless society within years. Thank you. One major advantage of cash is that my transactions are private, so only the boss here knows what I bought and how much I spent.
Australia is set to be number 4 in the list of countries who will lead in the cashless phenomenon, following Sweden as number 1, Denmark as number 2, and Hong Kong as number 3.
Now, one of the major changes that has quickly morphed into our daily lives during this COVID-19 is cashless spending. The supermarkets, the retailers, even the local fruit and veggie fella, they're telling us to tap or swipe no cash. We won't take it.
69% of Australians actually agree that Australia will be a cashless society by 2031.
Does cash still hold the same value?
Cash is still relevant, but cash is no longer king.
Nearly a third of US adults say they make no purchases using cash during a typical week.
Sweden is fed up with cash. It's a hassle to carry around, it can easily be stolen or misplaced, and frankly, no one is using it anymore.
Your cash is about to become trash as we enter into a cashless society in 2023 and a digital dollar that's being introduced to save our society.
15 years. Great to see you, Frank.
Welcome home. All right, so Rob, what the hell is going on in Australia?
I really like that you had the Aussie theme on there because I think I'm going crazy. There's no ATMs. The banks are closed. No, the actual media. I don't see mainstream media. I don't watch it, right? The only mainstream media I see is on YouTube because my TV is just not plugged into an antenna in the wall. So I don't even know where the antenna is in this apartment, to be honest with you. I've never plugged it in. We've got streaming TV, right? We just watch it there. What's going on in Australia? I think Australians are just lazy. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And when you... I look at that and I look at it objectively and just kind of shrug my shoulders and go, well, yeah, it isn't just easier to go like that with my watch or to tap my phone. Yeah, it's easier. It's definitely convenient, but then every single thing that I do is tracked.
Exactly.
And that's the problem that we have with society, right? Is all of this wonderful technology and these really great things that we have are designed to actually help us and make our lives better. But the people that are behind it are using it in a way to control us.
Yep.
The idea of a conservative government, the idea of the conservative side of politics is to make government smaller, be smaller. You don't need such a big, giant bureaucracy. And a lot of services that the government provide would be better off offloaded to private industry, because private industry for profit would be way more efficient. It would reduce the bloat, it would reduce that, it would improve services. There's so many things that would do. But we seem to be going to the opposite side of thing in Western society, where government seems to be expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But I also, maybe I'll push back here a little bit, Ed, and, see what you think. If you were a politician and you were in charge of fiscal policy and you had to do these things and you look at it, one of the reporters there said it pretty well. He said, they're training us to get rid of cash, but I don't think so. I think it's just because people are lazy and I've just got my phone and I just use it. The same thing. What's the difference? I don't see any difference. And I don't care if they're tracking me. I'm not doing anything wrong anyway.
It's one thing to give people an option, where they can choose. But what's going on at the banks is they're taking away your options. They cut the ATM. They cut the ATMs in half in less than a year, and it's not just Australia, by the way. I just put an inordinate amount of Australian clips in there because of Rob.
Well, it's every country in the world, right? It's happening in every country.
Well, you're number 4 according to that article,
to the list,
to the clip.
Yeah.
Sweden is number 1. But I mean, so giving people an option is one thing if they choose to do it. And in the free market, people can decide if there is one private outfit that's particularly egregious in selling your information and giving your information to, you can fire them and go to a private organization that doesn't do it. So competition, people have the freedom to, and people they'll gravitate toward the ones that are going to take care of them, right? But when they take away those options and force you on the systems, then the government powers be, they have a monopoly because you don't have a choice. You have to go through the rails that they provide for you in order to live your life. And if you want to go to a garage sale and buy some gadget at a garage sale with cash, so you should have the freedom to do that.
Well, they give you the ability through the banking apps here in Australia to easily transfer money to each other. So, I want to buy this microphone or this, audio equipment that I've got.
Yeah,
here.
but for,
sure,
but, for people, but for people like me who don't want the government knowing what I'm doing in any aspect of my life, I want to be able to use this stuff.
Here in Australia, there's one thing that you didn't report on there, which is not being said, and it's one of the unspoken truths of modern Australian society is in the last 12 or 18 months, they changed the rules about owning a company. So in the US, you have LLCs. In Australia, we have the equivalent called proprietary limited company. And they came out and said that in order for you to continue operating your business as a proprietary limited company, you must identify yourself through the government systems. So this is the enforcement of the government digital ID system, where now I know who you are, I know what your business does, I know everything about your taxation situation, I can see all of your bank accounts, and I can also see every transaction that you're doing in your business life and your personal life. Your medical records via Medicare are now connected to your government ID. Your welfare payments, if you're entitled to any, are also connected in there as well. And by the way, if you don't submit to what we're saying, you can no longer operate as a proprietary limited company.
There you go. CBDCs. Complete control
it's here in Australia.
of your lives. The chairman of the Bank of Britain, the Bank of, what do they call it? Yeah, the Bank of UK. Yeah, he came out the other day saying that their objective is to have a cashless society in the UK by 2030. That's not very far away. That's their objective. No more cash at all. A cashless society. If our children want to see a dollar bill, they're going to have to go to a museum. And that is sad. I mean, and just think of what this is going to do to Hollywood, man. Because now, all those movies where the criminals, they're carrying around suitcases of cash.
Why work? What are they going to do? They're carrying around a USB stick with a crypto on it that they can't access. But they can't withdraw.